Yay! Look at that.
Hey,
Now
we are live on the internet. Apparently,
we.
Nicole,
Hey,
look,
Patrick.
it's the
Yes.
internet. Look,
Hi,
it's right
Internet.
there.
Hi.
And
Okay.
Jeannie is there too.
Oh.
Uh,
If everyone wants to call me Jeannie, that's fine. They just have to put the in front of it. The
Ah,
who is named Jenny. But this communication issue is entirely my own fault for being
well, I am
polite.
too
known
nice.
to butcher names, so there you go.
Yeah. It's just a thing. The only thing I regret when people call me is Jennifer
Mm,
because I'm not. I'm actually just Jenny.
just
Um,
Hmm.
Jenny.
yep. All right. Well, that concludes Learn About Jenny moment
Mhm.
on the internet. And I think we could start really in
Sure.
a minute. Oh, I guess I should
Ah,
play a clip.
Are you ready, Nicole? And the correct answer is I was born ready.
I
So
was
just so you know.
born ready.
Right. Excellent. Had I come to, your mom in the birthing room and I would have asked you, Jenny, no, not Jenny, Nicole, are you ready? You would have been like, ah, but that would have meant I was born ready. Just now.
All right.
That's a
So
horrible image. That is a
let's.
horrible image.
I'm gonna make sure. Wait, I want to make sure once again. Yep, I'm recording.
Hey,
Here we
I'm just
go.
crafting stories, okay? I'm not responsible for whatever strange imagery comes up in your mind.
Hmm.
Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna play a Patreon intro. I'm gonna go right into the open. Patrick's gonna let it play to his heart's content, and then he will speak. And video audience, the music will cut off. This is a known bug. All right, so here we go in three, two, one. Moment of silence.
The Daily Tech News Show is entirely supported and funded by voluntary contributions from listeners like you. If you want to chip in and support your daily source of tech, visit patreon.com/tastytech.
This is the Daily Tech News Show for Thursday, September 11, 2014. I'm Patrick Beja, and the fact that the sound is cutting off is a known bug. Uh,
It's a feature.
today,
It's a feature.
yes, right. It's a totally expected feature. Today, I'm joined by wonderful co-host Nicole Spag, who's a dear friend of mine, and I'm so glad we can do a show together. In Tom's absence, it makes it sound like I'm glad we can do it in Tom's absence. That's not what I meant, Tom. I'm not glad you're away. I'm just glad Nicole is here. How's it
Oh,
going?
it's great. I think it's been a couple years since we've done a show together. Or
It's
maybe
been a
not.
while, yeah. Maybe
Wait
not
a
a
minute.
couple of years, but it's been a while.
Yeah. I missed
So
you.
yeah, I miss you too, and I've missed you too, audience. It's been a whole 24 hours since you've had my voice in your ears, and I hope you kind of missed it a little bit at least, because you're getting it anyway now again. So with that, let's jump into the
Let's
headlines.
do it.
The Next Web reports that Facebook has begun testing a new feature for its iPhone app that allows users to set an expiration date on posts, anywhere from 1 hour to 7 days. Facebook told The Next Web that this is a pilot program and that expired posts could take 90 days to delete from Facebook's servers. The Verge chimes in with what seems to be the most pressing question. What kind of information would you want to share with everyone you know, but only for 1 hour? I have
Uh,
no idea.
the kind that you do when you're drunk.
So that's the default setting for all messages
Yeah.
for certain people.
Anything after midnight should have this by default. ZDNet's Mary Jo Foley reports that two German sites have posted 20 screenshots of what it looks to be a leaked build of Windows Threshold. The pictures show off a new mini start menu and the ability to run Metro-style modern apps in a window on a desktop. Computer World says the pics reveal an operating system that could go a long way towards making desktop users happy with Windows again.
It's, I really like Windows 8 and I use it with almost no modern interface whatsoever. And when you do it like that, it's really cool. So I hope that this change for Windows 9 will make everyone love Windows as well, the way I do.
Good for you.
You're staying outside of
Yes.
this.
Yes.
The next web reports that BlackBerry announced that it is buying Movier 2, a well-named UK startup that allows multiple phone numbers to be active on a single device. Movier 2's virtual SIM platform allows separate billing for voice, data, and messaging on each number, allowing employees to switch between business and personal profiles without carrying multiple devices or SIM cards, and allowing for separate charges to be billed to the company and the employee, said all employees everywhere. Thanks a lot, Movier 2.
In Gadget Reports, LG has announced the first of 2 curved 4G OLED televisions that will go on sale in the United States very soon. The 65-inch version will ship in October with a retail price of $10,000. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. The 77-inch model will arrive in November at select retailers and cost $25,000. And while you're catching your breath, LG announced that there's a 105-inch Ultra HD television coming in November for the low price of $100,000. If you're willing to sacrifice a few inches, there's a 98-inch version for a mere $40,000. You're in the market for a TV, Patrick.
I just bought a plasma TV from Panasonic, thinking that it would take a couple of years for the prices to go down for the Ultra HD TVs, and it looks like I might have been right. So, yeah, I'm happy with my tiny 55-inch TV for now.
I'm happy with my 74.
You had to just... Recode reports that Apple has not yet set a release date for the new iPhone 6 in China, the world's biggest smartphone market. When the iPhone 5C and 5S were released, China was part of the first wave of countries that received the phone. China media speculated that Apple had not yet received routine certification from Chinese regulators. Said Apple, "China is a key market for us and we will get there as soon as possible."
The next web reports that the state of California has passed a law preventing businesses in the state from penalizing customers who write bad reviews about their properties. The law bans businesses from enforcing non-disparaging clauses in the customer's contracts. California businesses could face fines up to $10,000 for violating the new law. We'll talk more about that in our discussion section. Oh, it's me again. Sorry.
Yes.
And this one goes out to all you Australian music fans out there. Torrent Freak reports on a new research from Spotify that says music piracy via BitTorrents has decreased in that country by 20% since Spotify launched there in 2012. The drop was mostly driven by casual file sharers, and Spotify says the number of hardcore pirates remains stable.
So getting a decent, reasonably priced offering for music decreases piracy. I would never have guessed. Wondering whether yesterday's internet slowdown day had any effect, PC World reports that there were 286,000 calls made to U.S. congressional offices and the White House yesterday. And the U.S. FCC registered more than 111,000 new comments regarding its proposed guidelines. Activist group Fight for the Future. Is it Fight of the Future or Fight for the Future? Might be the latter.
Yeah.
Says that that number might even be higher, claiming it received more than 500,000 FCC comments via its site. The numerical discrepancy may be due to the FCC's overworked servers, poor servers, and The Verge reports that comments on the US FCC's proposed net neutrality rules have now surpassed comments on the infamous Janet Jackson nip slip during the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show. Good job, Internet. I think most of those comments were initiated by the audience of the Daily Tech News show because, we encourage them to do that. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nicole?
I agree. Amazing
Excellent.
audience. Good job, everyone.
Good job, audience.
Gold star.
And now some news from you. France Games submitted a report from Circa that a coalition of tech companies, including Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Tumblr, and Yahoo, I don't know why I said Yahoo like that. It
I
sounded
love
fun.
it. I think that's how it should be said from here on out.
They all sent a letter to the U.S. Congress on September 9th asking lawmakers to pass the Email Privacy Act. The act would update the Electronic Communications Privacy Act of 1986 to require federal law enforcement agencies to get a warrant if they want to read an email or force a service to disclose a user's location. The process to update the bill has been delayed by lawmakers' attempts to add other provisions to the legislation. It seems like email should be afforded the same protection or rights as regular mail is. So
I agree. We'll see. C. Castro 425 submitted this Gigamon report that Google will extend its try before you buy refund window from 15 minutes to 2 hours. So if you think you can read the Merrick Veterinary Manual in 2 hours, you've just saved yourself $49.95. If you think you can memorize the 5-minute sports medicine app in 2 hours, boom, you just saved yourself $99.
I'm just going to say that I really want GigaOM to spin a site and make it GigaMom.
Is that what I said? Oh,
yeah.
well. Yahoo.
I think that would be awesome.
We're rebranding every site out there now.
As we should. MacBytes passes along a Verge report that NASA will begin shooting laser pulses at Earth from the International Space Station. Before you head into the bunker, though, it turns out the laser pulses are an attempt to determine the amount of carbon being stored by Earth's forests. Project Getty, which stands for Global Ecosystem Dynamics Investigation, would send out up to 16 billion laser pulses a year to make a 3D map of the forests. The Laser Light Show is expected to launch to the ISS in 2018.
I would like to believe that those lasers are coming from cats.
I think that is now what I will choose to believe as well.
That's what you need to think.
And that is it for the headlines. But it's Thursday, which means it's time for a great column by Molly Wood on nytimes.com. This week, Molly writes about the Apple Watch and how Apple has passed the burden of discovering the killer app to the watch. For the watch to developers. And that, Molly says, is a good thing. Check it out. I didn't even think about that. It's true that developers are going to be tasked with discovering an awesome app for this device that I'm not personally sure I have a use for. So we'll have to see what happens.
It'll be interesting.
We're going to get into the discussion portion of the show now. We didn't find one topic that quite merited a full discussion, but you know what? When tech gives you lemonade, you create a potpourri of stories in bite-sized portions.
That is going to be some nasty, nasty lemonade.
Further thoughts on that California Yelp bill, as it is sometimes referred to, the bill that basically says you cannot sue or make a contract with your customers that would penalize them if they comment negatively on your business on internet services. And that's an interesting one because we've seen in the past few months, I would say, a few business owners, past few years even.
Yeah,
the one I remember most. Sorry, go ahead, Nicole.
No, I was saying if you just Google this type of lawsuit, like negative Yelp reviews, it's around. I mean, there's even a few here in the state of Arizona that's going on right now. So this is a big thing to have happened for California to say, nope, not cool.
Well, I remember one that was I can't remember if it was in the U.S., but it was a resort where you could have weddings, and they said they then said it was a joke, but the gist of it was, if you write a negative review on us somewhere, we'll keep your deposit of $500. And so that's the kind of things that this bill is trying to prevent. I know that it's very easy to take the side of the customer and say, what the heck, I'm allowed to say what I think, and I'm allowed to voice my opinion, and this keeps business owners honest, and all of that. So I think the general sentiment is that in that area, and I would tend to agree with it. But if we try to take the other side of the story for just a second, put yourself in the shoes of a small business owner that is basically completely beholden to Yelp and maybe TripAdvisor and a few of those big comparison sites. And if you have one or two people that are kind of angry, as people on the internet have known to be from time to time, I can understand that you're not super happy about the fact that one guy who's having a bad day can ruin or at least seriously impact your business. And if you're a big chain, it probably doesn't matter as much as if you're a small business owner, a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
Is there any validity to that?
No,
thought?
I mean, I
No,
my
all
husband-
right.
yeah.
Let's go to the next.
No. So I was going to say, my husband and I, we have a small business, and I guess what I'm seeing is there's an organization. I don't know if you have this, Patrick, but it's called the Better Business Bureau, and that historically has been where you check a company out, and I feel like that organization has severely dropped the ball, and allowed companies like Yelp and all these other to kind of come in here. And I mean, you also see this with Angie's List. I use Angie's List a lot too. That's a paid service where you go in and you kind of review, but it's a much more involved reviewing process. Like there's a lot of steps and you get very detailed. Where Yelp is like, oh, I had something bad, I'm going to write a bad review. And I think, a negative review tends to probably come out more than a positive. It's much harder to get somebody to write a positive review versus a negative. So I think
it's also
sticky. Oh, I was just going to say it's a sticky situation on both sides. I mean, there was a case that was just won by a couple that the company ruined their credit report, and because they wrote a bad review, and so they were trying to get a house and they couldn't get a house loan. So they were awarded like $250,000 because the company said, well, you wrote a bad review, we're going to charge you this money, and they never paid that bill and thus reflected on their credit report. So there's like some weird things. I think we're in an interesting time for small businesses, and I feel like something's about to break because it's, it's too happy.
Yeah, there's definitely some figuring things out that needs to happen, and which is probably a normal thing, right? This peer, not even peer review, but every man's review system is relatively new, and this is probably growing pains as I see it. It's overall, I think we would all agree to say that Yelp and similar services are
Amazon.
generally a very good thing for by a lot of in a lot of ways, and the service it provides to the community, if we're thinking about social issues, is greater than the challenges, but it doesn't mean that the challenges aren't there. So interesting to see this, how it's going to be worked out. Second bite-sized portion topic, we have a spoon, is the title. Basically, Google just bought a cutlery company. And before you say, what the heck is Google doing buying all of these weird companies, this one is a company that is very tech-centric, and that creates a different, a range of connected forks and spoons and things like that. But even more than that, the reason I was keen on talking about this was this very specific device that they created, which is a very bulky spoon that's about $300.
Well, it's a device that attaches to your spoon, your utensil, and the company. What's the company called? It's Lift Labs is the company. Yep. Sorry.
And no, but you're right. I mean, but what the device does is that it helps patients that have Parkinson's disease, in the sense that, obviously, when you have Parkinson's to an advanced stage, your hand is shaking so much that it's challenging to even get the food from the plate to your mouth. And that device that attaches to your spoon compensates for the shaking, making the spoon a lot more stable, and thus helping patients with Parkinson's disease just simply have an easier life, which certainly is something everyone can root for. So I don't know if you saw that video, but when I
did.
saw
It was amazing.
It's emotional, isn't it?
It totally is emotional.
Yeah.
Like, at first when I read it, I'm like, okay, I don't really see it. But then when I watched the video, because it was they did an Indiegogo campaign to actually have this device created. So when you watch the video, it's just like, wow, that's amazing. You know what? So we're talking about using for Parkinson's disease, but it really can be used for anyone that has trouble stabilizing their utensils. So I have a 2-year-old. I mean, and all he wants to do is feed himself. So I'm watching him try to scoop up peas and like.
But maybe he has to learn, right?
I know, but it could encourage him. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Encouragement. But I thought it was a cool device, and I'm it's something I don't think a lot of people think about. So it's to help their way of life, to have a better quality of life.
It's really, I mean, we're, especially this week, we're in the middle of the Apple Fest and the sort of vain exercise of deciding whether or not this essentially useless device, whether it's, the watch or the phone or all of these, are worth our hard-earned money, and we obsess over what features they have or don't have, or what features the competition has, and sometimes you take a step back and you see these things where tech is actually having an effect and helping people. And I think that's why it hit me in that way, and wanted to share that with everyone.
It's very heartwarming. Well, speaking of Facebook, we were talking earlier about Facebook. There is an article out that talks about how the facial recognition system can be fooled by family members, and is this bug now a feature? Bug and feature, we're taking it back. So a social network deep face algorithm detects and identifies faces using neural network with more than 120 million parameters. So I'm curious, Patrick, I know I've experienced uploading a picture to Facebook and it telling me who they think it is. In fact, it's my husband, and they always think it's you.
It's me. Well, how do you know it's not? Can you see your husband right now? Are you sure he didn't travel to France and put on a beret? I don't have a beret, but
he must be. He must have some amazing tech to time warp between the United States and France.
Yeah, I mean the story. It's better face recognition. There was another part of the story that a guy was recognized, I mean, as his mom.
Yeah.
And but I
finding
feel like
relatives?
it's an easy, it's an easy thing to make fun of.
Yeah.
It's obviously the tech is still gonna have errors, and it's not like it never made mistakes before, and now all of a sudden it started to. So
but it is kind of cool though to think that it could that this technology could scan millions and millions of photos and potentially find a relative that you don't know about. I just recently joined Ancestry.com, and I found a relative through a photo that I uploaded, and I didn't even know she existed. So
I'm not sorry. I think I misunderstood the bug or feature thing. I thought it was a bug. Are you saying it's actually a feature that is going to recognize?
Family members. Yeah, I think it is truly can be a feature for this kind of facial recognition. And that would be awesome. That would be really cool. Or scary. I'm not sure which one. and that's kind of the debate, right? Is this how invasive is this? Do we want this? Do we want those long lost relatives lost.
And if you go even farther, what is the NSA going to do with that?
Ooh, they're probably already using it.
Probably.
They,
That's scary.
they've tracked us.
All right, let's talk about OK Go.
Oh, yes. So we all, well, most of us, watched the Apple announcement, and the very first thing we were introduced to was a video called Perspective. And I don't know about you, but the minute I watched it, I said, wow, that reminds me of an OK video I just watched a couple months
An
ago.
OK Go.
OK Go.
video.
Okay, I think, yeah, OK Go, which is a band. And they think so too. And so they are reporting that they pitched this very idea to Apple before the event, and Apple turned them down. And so they decided to go ahead and create the concept with their recent video, The Writing on the Wall. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the video, I love OK Go videos. They're so creative and thoughtful, and it's a fun video to watch. But you'll definitely see the similarities. And in fact, there's a poll on the Consumerist that asks its readers, is this a blatant ripoff or is it not? And I think 80% think that Apple definitely ripped them off, because not only did they decline using this idea, but after the fact they used the same director that OK Go used for their video. So it's kind of,
I mean,
lame.
if they hadn't pitched it to Apple, I'm not sure how they would have done that though. Are they? Well, let's assume that's the case. If they hadn't done that, I would have said, yeah, it's an interesting idea. Different people could have come up with it. In this case, and the same director and everything, although maybe they saw that OK Go video and thought, we have to get that guy because he did really well and we want to do something similar. It's a very difficult thing to untangle. At the very least, Apple prides itself on its love of music. I'm wondering if they couldn't just talk to OK Go and have something,
Well, it seems like they already talked to him, and they're like, yeah, pass, but we're going to steal your idea.
Right. No, I mean, after the fact, like, talk to them and say, all right, you know what, it might be, we didn't realize there was some wire crossed. We'll put your, album on the Facebook, on the iTunes homepage for a week, and that will make up for it. Deal. All right.
They do have a new album coming out.
There you go.
So there you go. Apple, fix it.
Yes. Apple, OK Go, problem solved. You're welcome.
All right. And now a look at the calendar. Tomorrow, September 12th, is deadlines for companies to submit evidence to the European Union that Google has imposed app bundling and exclusivity requirements on Android device makers and carriers. Tomorrow is the start of International Broadcasting Convention in Amsterdam, and a gathering of professionals engaged in creation, management, and delivery of entertainment and news content worldwide. Stop laughing, Patrick.
I didn't say anything.
The IBS runs through the 16th. And tomorrow is also the start of Data Week plus API World Conference in San Francisco, where thousands of engineers and executives converge to discuss the role of data and API innovation.
Well, you did tell me before the show started that you were incapable of reading out loud, which, considering that, I think you did pretty well.
I've been practicing.
And here's today's pick of the day, the Asana. I don't know how this is pronounced. Asana. Anyway, it's a Asana. There you go. Project management platform via Elliot Keefe. He says, hello, Jenny, and amazing guests. That's us. Asana, I can't do it. Asana.com is a project management online platform meant for companies to work through projects, collaborate, and organize. The creators of Asana are Dustin Moskovitz, co-founder of Facebook, and Justin Rosenstein. Now I do not use this for work, but rather all the projects I have being a homeowner and car enthusiast. When doing a full restoration on my Datsun, I can keep track of progress, ordering of parts, and completed tasks. The best part about Asana is it's free.
Oh.
Just log in and start a project. Love the shows. Your DTNS and Cord Killers boss, Elliot. Thank you very much, Elliot. Actually, we did use, in one of my previous projects, we did start using Asana a little bit. I have to say, all of these tools are a little bit too complicated for me. I have this sort of very OCD brain that I'm doing everything at the same time, and I have to do it. So, but I guess maybe it's not for me. But I'm sure, Nicole, you have a lot of these tools that you use all the time.
I do, and you know what I tend to just go back to every time? Pen and paper, to-do list. I love the feeling of just marking off. Like I'll even complete a task and write it down just to cross it off.
Yeah.
But I love these kind of tech things,
Yeah.
and I'm always on that maybe there'll be one that clicks with me, and but it feels like sometimes the project is the project.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly how I feel. They seem a little bit too complex. But I mean, Asana is pretty good. It also has a pretty awesome iPhone and I'm sure Android app. So if you're looking for something to help yourself be more organized, that might be the answer. And if you want to send your pics, you can do so at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. And you can find Tom's pics at dailytechnewsshow.com/pics. We also have a message of the day, and it's Nicole that's going to read it.
on the
I was gonna do it.
you can do it.
Please.
Okay. On the subject of Apple Pay, Neil Patel writes.
Neil Patel from The Verge.
Oh, sorry. I like Neil Patel. Writes, maybe with the release of Apple Pay, carriers and vendors will be on board with Google Wallet because it is cross-platform compatible. Well, Android and iOS at least, and Google can work on better rates because they can be on more devices, managing device capability and leveraging their own security to back their service. Thanks, and keep up the awesome work. Neil. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Apple Pay, if it works out, is going to kickstart the wireless payment and mobile phone payment industry, or re-kickstart maybe. I also read something interesting about, first of all, Apple is getting its commission from the banks and not from the business or the customer. And it also seems that the banks and credit card companies are creating a new type of status for the rates, because the rates are higher when you have more quote-unquote risks with the payment. So if you have the card which is secured by a PIN, the rate is going to be lower than if you just have the card. And in this case, they have a different rate because it's a cardholder present. Which is something different again, because you can verify his or her presence by the biometric data. So
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it because I'm tired of getting new cards. I've gotten like 3 new cards because of compromises in the last couple years. So bring it on, Apple.
I just have 2. 2 is enough. Why do you need more?
Well, no, they keep replacing it 3 times. Like, yeah. So, yeah.
Annoying. Well, you know what's not annoying?
You?
Oh, thank you. I was going to say you. Oh, that's why I love Nicole. If you want to have even more of the non-annoying Nicole, please let us know where people can go.
You can find me on Twitter at Nicole Spag. I also run a website with my husband called The Wood Whisperer, and we do woodworking education. And I run another podcast called Nerd Parents, where we talk about parenting in a nerdy world in today's day and age, and all the technology around parenting. That's enough to make your head spin.
And it's a really fun show. I have even listened to a few of the episodes and had a lot of fun. So.
And you've been on it too, even though
have been on
you're not a parent.
Even though, yes,
it was fun.
I was the child on that episode. All right, and I have been instructed in all caps to plug my own shows, so I will tell you that if you enjoy my banter, you can go to Twitter and follow me at NotPatrick. That's very easy. Or if you speak French or want to speak French better, you can follow my French tech news show, which is called Le Rendezvous Tech, and I'm sure you'll find that one easily. I'd also like to thank, on behalf of Tom and Jenny, the awesome 4,265 patrons of the Daily Tech News Show. If you want to become a patron as well, you can do so by going to dailytechnewsshow.com/donate, and you'll have all the instructions there. Don't forget, you can also have a voice in what stories are covered in DTNS at the subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, or you can email feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com, or call us at 512-59-DAILY. That's 5959. I'm sorry, the number just changed. Yeah, no, it's the number just changed on the doc. 512-593-2459. And you can listen to the show at mobile.alphageekradio.com and visit the website dailytechnewsshow.com. Tomorrow, Shannon Morse and Darren Kitchen of hack5.org take over the show, and Len Peralta will be there to illustrate the madness.
Bye.
Well, we're supposed to have the music and the show, so I left a little bit of silence in order for Jenny to be able to add it.
I wasn't sure.
I guess that is a show.
Yeah.
We're done. I don't know if Jenny is going to come back. This is all
I'm back.
very new. Oh, she is.
I don't understand why the music didn't play at the end, but I will do what we all do and fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
I will literally fix it in post. Why didn't
All right. I don't know. Maybe I was speaking and
it's very possible it just chose you over me, which is probably wise. Well, anyway, from all of us to all of you.
Okay.
So, all right. So your only remaining duty. You guys did a great job. Fabulous discussion section. Really loved it. Don't giggle. You did a great job. I loved it. So your sole remaining job as host
Is
is
to
help.
find a title.
Yes, and you can go to showbot.replex.org.
Someone in the chat room said spooning with Google, and I thought that was really funny.
That is the. Oh wait, I have to stop recording the show so that I don't need to edit more. Hold on, stopping record.
Showbot.replex.com.org. Oh,
yep.
It's actually suggestions from people in the chat room.
In the chat room,
like a whole
That is
thing.
awesome.
Isn't that nice?
Chat room, I mean, I know you're awesome, but every time I find out more reasons of thinking you're awesome. So this is super cool.
This was created by Spoogle. Depends on the pronunciation. Nice try, BioCow. But I do like
Lasers
spooning
from
with
cats?
Google. Lasers from cats. Spoon Beta. Newsalicious. A couple of references to size and inches, which go right over my head. We have rewriting the web, and then
I like Gigamom, but I don't think it's one.
Yeah. And Born with a Google Spoon in his mouth has a nice, class war savoir-faire to it, but I think maybe.
Yeah, spooning with Google is getting tons and tons.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I think that's the one. Sometimes you just know what you know.
Ooh, wait a second. Tensor Guy. I think we have a title. Not Patrick Rocks. There you go. Title.
Well, there you go.
Spooning with Google is,
Yeah, I like that one. I mean, when in doubt, right?
Yay.
All right. So we did that, and I have only one more day to go on producing this show without Tom.
Are you surviving?
Yeah, well, now that we all came back from the hospital intact, it was a much better day. I feel bad for poor Jonathan Strickland, but I can't even tell you, what a great day it was yesterday to see, him just effortlessly typing and you running the sound and hearing the two of you just put it together on Skype and make a show while I was literally sitting in a chair in the hallway of a major hospital, going, what? What is happening?
It's really the worst time. Tom's away and Yeah,
Well,
first time I was hosting as well, so
I was telling Nicole before, I was like, that is the downside to a two-person company, which is when one person's on vacation and one person has to escort a family member to the hospital, there's no more people. But the the lesson I learned is that when it comes to shows of Tom's, there are always people because everybody just
Oh.
pitches in and gets it done. And I was like,
We're
I was
bootstrapping.
bootstrapping. It was
Yeah.
just a whole bunch of bootstrapping yesterday. So
That
thanks
is
to
true.
everyone who had the patience, and thanks to Patrick and John, and thanks to you, Nicole, for being so awesome
Yay.
today.
I had fun.
I know
It was
you helped
cool.
me get Alpha Geek Radio going, as did
Yay.
Mr. Whitehead.
Go Todd. Good
so
I don't
job.
even know how that would work. I
What?
have no
Oh, boy.
idea.
What Alpha
Getting
Geek
Radio?
Alpha Geek Radio, yeah. Getting
Oh, it's
the
really
pipes into.
it's really easy.
It is really easy.
Mhm.
For me, the greatest challenge is in my own internal system is making it loud enough so that it can be heard, but not like so loud that it just I was unsure if it would work on my end. But the Todd Whitehead part is really simple. So yay!
Yeah, you just turn on your butt.
That's right. Spark up that butt.
It's a program, Patrick. It's the program we
I
use.
figured.
Yeah.
Somebody
figured.
who wrote that program sat down for about 10 minutes and was like, I really want it to be called butt. Now I just have to figure out how.
Start with a name, and we work backwards.
Haven't even written the code. It just has to be called butt.
Because they want
right,
you to say, turn on my butt.
Turn on my butt. My butt isn't working. And onward down through all the butt jokes. See? Wherever this program goes, it creates laughter and joy and entendre. Okay, so I'm going to go and produce the heck out of the post editing scenario, which is so this may take a little longer to show up in your podcatchers.
Okay.
But thank you both so much. It was
thank you.
lovely. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
stop the broadcast